Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. This your boy Town Biz. All right, man. So check this out. All right. So as you know, Terrence Crawford is going to be fighting Canelo Alvarez this coming September. Canelo has assured people that the fight is still going to happen. Basically, what they're working out now is basically where the fight is going to take place, the actual venue, and what date. But Canelo says they will be fighting in Las Vegas sometime in September. So, you know, with that being said, I'm going to assume the fight is going to still happen until further notice. Now, with that being said, you know, if I'm Terrence Crawford, if I'm Team Crawford, I would be looking to put very stiff, you know, stipulations in the contract. And I would make sure the guidelines going into this fight were as clear and transparent as all day and night. I would put stipulations saying that Canelo has to go through strenuous drug testing, pre-fight and post-fight. Like if Canelo, I would put in the contract that if Canelo tests positive post-fight, that he has to basically forfeit, you know, if not a big percentage of his purse, all of his purse. And if he refuses a drug testing pre-fight, let's just say they show up to test Canelo and Canelo refuses a test, he has to pay Terrence Crawford minimum of $1 million, because at the end of the day, a lot of money is going to be on the line going into this fight. So everything needs to be on the up and up. Canelo's already going to have a size advantage. You definitely don't want him to have another type of advantage. But they need to apply stiff and harsh penalties going into this fight. And you can do the same with Terrence Crawford. Same with him. You can say on the flip side, hey, same thing with Terrence Crawford. Hey, if you refuse a drug test and if you test positive for PEDs, same thing with you. I'm not just singling out Canelo, but here's the thing. Canelo has failed a drug test before and he's been suspended for popping dirty. So that's the difference between Terrence Crawford and Canelo. But I would really make sure that this fight was going to be as close to being on the up and up as possible. Because whether people like it or not, the fight game is very dangerous. You're already taking a chance with your life. All it takes is one punch and you're, you know what I'm saying? You could be altered for the rest of your life. Or you could actually die in that ring. And that has happened to people. There have been people that have died in the ring. Several fighters throughout the years, men and women. That just goes to show you how dangerous boxing is. And this is why I take this particular subject matter very serious. Because it needs to be. It needs to be. So that's how I feel about this particular situation. They need to be transparent as possible. You know, Bud and his team need to make that be very known to Canelo and his camp, and vice versa with Canelo and his camp with Terrence Crawford and Turkey Al-Sheikh. You got to make sure that this fight is legit as possible. You don't need, no matter what the outcome is, no matter who wins, that something is revealed post-fight. Now, like I said before, I would put this more on Canelo than I would Terrence Crawford. Because Terrence Crawford hasn't failed any drug tests, but Canelo has. And then based off the fact that who trains Canelo and him being linked to several fighters that have one time or another tested positive for a, you know, banned substance. You got to say, hey, what's going on? What's up with this? Why does this keep happening? So that's how I feel about that particular situation. But I just wanted to put that out there. They need to put this in writing. They need to make this as clear as day. that if anything weird happens with Canelo's testing pre and post fight, that he's going to be subjected to heavy fines. You know, if he refuses a drug test going into the fight, he needs to pay Terrence Crawford $1 million. And if he, tests post fight, then he's liable to lose a big portion of his purse, if not all of his purse. You have to put that shit in there. You got to make sure that this doesn't happen. Because like I say, these guys are putting their life on the line. And you got to make sure that everything is on the up and up. So yeah, that's just how I feel about the situation. But anyway, it's your boy Town. I'm out.